A furious Donald Trump has ordered Vladimir Putin to get moving and accept a ceasefire deal to finally end the war in Ukraine. The blistering warning comes as the U.S. president sent his peace envoy across to Moscow to meet with the Russians today and reportedly give them a final deadline to accept a truce. Despot Putin has come out of an apparent 10-day disappearance to meet with Steve Witkoff on his trip. The White House envoy arrived in Russia early on Friday, just hours after Vlad's latest ballistic missile strike on Ukraine. Before the pair met for third time this year, President Trump released a scathing statement on Truth Social. He wrote, "Russia has to get moving. Too many people are dying, thousands a week, in a terrible and senseless war. A war that should have never happened and wouldn't have happened if I were president." Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Putin and Witkoff are set to discuss setting up a future meeting which directly involves the U.S. leader. Peskov urged the world not to celebrate the meeting as he said it isn't likely to be a momentous day full of major breakthroughs. Some analysts are expecting Witkoff to place a deadline on Putin to finally accept a ceasefire deal. A rumored Easter date has been in the works for some time with speculation over a possible April 30th date. Putin spent the first part of the day traveling back to the capital after being in St. Petersburg. The Kremlin said he was involved in extraordinarily important talks over the development and modernization of the Russian Navy. This will involve a 8.4 trillion rubles, 76.23 billion pounds, investment by 2035 and will finance new vessels and technologies. Witkoff is due to be across in Oman on Saturday for talks with Iran over its nuclear program. It comes as Ukraine fears Trump's pleas for peace will be ignored by Moscow once again. Ukrainian officials and military analysts believe Russia is preparing to unleash a fresh military offensive in the coming weeks. Officials believe Putin is determined to steal as much land as possible before ensuring any peace deal allows him to keep the seized territory. UK Defence Secretary John Healey has also called on further support to be sent to Ukraine as a summer of fighting begins to draw closer. Healey urged members of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group to provide more military support to Kyiv. He said at a meeting at the NATO headquarters in Brussels, "Our job as defense ministers is to get urgent military aid into the hands of Ukrainian warfighters. And to those nations not making fresh commitments today, I urge you to look again, to look hard at what more you can do." Healey's comments come on the back of concerns over the practicality of Sir Keir Starmer's Coalition of the Willing group. A European Union top diplomat has said the group, made up of European and Ukraine allies, have failed to provide any clarity on how a post-war peacekeeping plan will work. Kaja Kallas was asked if there was a clear idea in place over what a plan would look like if foreign troops were deployed in Ukraine. But she replied, "I mean, the different member states have different opinions and the discussions are still ongoing." Around 200 military planners from 30 countries have been working together to give support to Ukraine should a ceasefire be agreed. Ukraine war latest. Russia's gains in Ukraine are slowly grinding to a halt, according to the latest data from the battlefield. Putin's army made up just 240 square kilometers inside Ukrainian territory in March, according to US-based Institute for the Study of War. This marks the lowest number of gains since November 2024, with Putin's men managing to seize 150 square kilometers more land in February. And what's more, Putin announced he is looking to call up another 160,000 troops for his war effort as numbers dwindle. Vlad's desperation tactics to seize more land have been amplified this week after Zelensky claimed 2 Chinese soldiers fighting for Russia had been captured. Ukraine's president has now said that several hundred Chinese nationals are fighting for Russia. The Ukrainian SBU Secret Service revealed they had interrogated the 2 captured Chinese prisoners of war, named as Wang Guangjuan, 33, and Zhang Renbua, 32. Meanwhile, Zelensky ramped up military assaults on the front line. As Russia shows no sign of brokering a peace deal, Ukraine launched a bomb strike on a Russian command post in the occupied Kherson region on Monday. It comes as Ukraine's commander-in-chief Oleksandr Szijjarto said a spring offensive by Russia has already begun.